Welcome to the Lifestyle Medicine Update. I'm Dr. James Meschino. In the typical European or North American diet, most people consume more protein at dinner or lunchtime than they do at breakfast. However, a landmark study published in the journal Cell Reports in July of 2021 showed that consuming more protein at breakfast compared to lunch or dinner is a more effective way to support your muscle strength, as well as promoting more muscle development in people that are doing weight training or strength training or resistance training, whatever you want to call it. It appears that the body has a chrononutrition clock, which means that if you time your protein intake properly throughout the course of the day, you can actually ensure more optimal muscle growth and preservation of muscle strength, which among other things helps to guard against muscle loss and muscle wasting that we see in the aging process. As people get older and their anabolic hormones decline, they tend to break down their muscle protein and they get weaker and more frail. They lose their balance, they fall down, they fracture a hip. They don't have the strength to be functional anymore. And they're at risk for falls and fractures and all kinds of problems. So getting more protein at breakfast looks like it could help to preserve lean mass even in people who aren't doing strength training. So the researchers first showed this effect with mice and then with humans. So initially, they fed mice 2 meals per day containing either high or low protein concentrations. So the mice had 2 different meals a day. They noted that the mice given the high protein intake at breakfast showed increased muscle compared to the mice that were fed high protein for dinner, even though the mice that were given the high protein at dinner were given a greater amount of protein than the mice that had their high protein meal for breakfast. So even with that, the higher protein intake at breakfast, even though it was not as much protein as the mice that had the high protein at dinner were getting, they still had more muscle development and strength. So specifically, the ratio of muscle growth was 17% higher in the mice who were fed more protein at breakfast compared to the mice who were fed higher protein meals at dinner. They also found that the intake of a type of protein called branched-chain amino acids early in the day increased muscle growth most effectively. This is important because whey protein, for instance, has a lot of branched-chain amino acids. So individuals who are trying to say they're doing weight training or strength training in an attempt to gain more muscle mass or strength and to improve their body contouring, getting whey protein, which has a lot of branched-chain amino acids, can be very effective, especially now if they have it for breakfast. So to check if their findings really were applicable to humans, the team then recruited 60 women who were 65 years old or older. And they tested to see if their muscle function and grip strength varied if they provided them with high protein breakfast versus dinner. So just like the mice, the women who consumed more protein at breakfast rather than at dinner showed enhanced muscle strength and muscle mass. So I personally have used this strategy of high protein intake at breakfast for many years, and it has served me very well in terms of gaining and preserving muscle mass and strength. Remember that as you gain muscle or lean mass, you also speed up your metabolism, which makes it easier to lose body fat and easier to prevent the accumulation of excess body fat as the years tick by. So some practical ways to enjoy a high protein breakfast without eating a lot of bad fats or sugar. These are some of the ways that you can do it. So the first way is to consider having a protein shake for breakfast. I personally use a whey protein shake, as whey is very high in branched-chain amino acids, which really support muscle tissue, preventing also muscle wasting and helping to increase muscle gains if you do weight training as I do. The protein shake I use contains less than 1 gram of fat, less than 12 grams of carbohydrates per scoop. I have it just with water, ice cubes, and 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, and it's delicious. The other consideration is an egg white omelet with vegetables, with a side of either dry rye or whole wheat toast and sliced tomatoes. 3 egg whites provides 21 to 27 grams of protein, which is similar to having 2 scoops of the whey protein shake that I just described. A third possibility is to have non-fat Greek yogurt, that also with a high fiber breakfast cereal mixed in. Some Greek yogurts contain 15 to 20 grams of protein in just 8 ounces. So in conclusion, more protein at breakfast is one more wellness strategy that you can employ that can help you preserve muscle mass as you age, gain more muscle and strength with your strength training routine, and speed up your metabolism. So I've included the reference for this study in the text below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.